What have you made so far in your first like 3.5 weeks?
I've cash collected 40K. One day I cash collected 15K. When leadership wasn't there, and I was like, I need to do something different. I can't just keep doing this forever. And that's when I came across you promoting high ticket sales. Insane program, honestly. At first, there's no way people are making this much money from home, or like, is it even possible? And then like now that I'm in it, and then I've literally like 15 book calls on my calendars each day, like nonstop from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Big factor for me was like,
All right, Anna, what's up? How we doing? What's
what's
going on
up?
over there in Texas?
It is awesome. It's a great day to be alive and happy that I made the step to get into the space. So excited to get going.
Come on, I love it. Cool. So, essentially, the reason I wanted to do this is because you were one of the original members of High Ticket Dominance when we first started, like 3-4 months ago, right? You made a bet. Obviously, I had decent results in high ticket sales, but I just started putting together the program, and you joined. I was super impressed by your work ethic. I was like, dude, this chick might beat me one day. Like this chick's a savage, right? You joined the program, you were super coachable, and since you started, like you've had crazy results, right? So I think that your story is like super inspirational for a lot of people out there. So I just wanted to bring you on. So first and foremost, like just tell everybody, kind of who Anna is and your background and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for the nice intro. Appreciate that. So,
Absolutely.
my name is Ana Catalina Olmero Paraco, and I grew up in Argentina. So you can imagine third world country. Parents, my dad was in the U.S. or the Argentinian Air Force, flying fighter jets. My mom was from the U.S., so we had some family. So that's why once he retired, we moved to Texas. So, growing up somewhere where it's like a third world country and you come to the US and you have that opportunity to like step into sales was like absolutely a hook for me. So at 17 years old, I started selling Cutco knives. So that is just the introduction of my whole world into sales. And I continued to pursue it for 6 years with Cutco, was assistant manager, branch manager, sales manager. And then I went to college, went to Texas A&M University, whoop, and I
Wow.
got my 4-year degree in industrial distribution and minor in business. So I actually decided to jump into like B2B distribution sales and was a territory manager there, crushed it, was out doing operations. So I was like, man, instead of driving all over DFW, I'd like to like do something different. And that's when I came across you like promoting high ticket sales, and I was like, man, that sounds awesome. So here I am, 4 weeks into the remote high
Yeah,
ticket sales officially, as a closer, right off the bat, which is awesome.
exactly.
So
So what was your like original impression of like high ticket sales versus like how it is now that you're like, full time in the space?
honestly, it's just like crazy to see it's like real. At first you're like looking at it and there's no way people are making this much money from home, or like, is it even possible? And then like now that I'm in it, and then I've literally like 15 book calls on my calendars each day, like nonstop from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. like calls that I'm on that I did not have to set them. I didn't have to call them. I didn't have to verify them or anything. Like they're literally on my calendar, and I just jump on a Zoom call and smile and close on the. So it's just insane to me.
Oh,
Like I can't believe it's real.
yeah.
So
I'll never forget the first day. I think you were like still adjusting and you were like, oh my God, it was a hard day. And I was like, well, you were in your house with your PJs on, taking some calls, having some green tea. It's like, was it really that bad? That's the cool part is like, even on a bad day, it's like, I didn't leave my house. So, it's cool. Right.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. So obviously, right, like you've done sales for 5-6 years prior to joining. What ultimately made you like, hey, like let me join the program, let me try this out, when I first started?
Like what made me want to like jump into remote sales? Like what was that final?
Yeah, I guess. What was the reason you wanted to get into remote sales to begin with?
That's a great question. I did get a little bit of a taste of it with Cutco when COVID hit. Like I was doing all in-person Cutco demos, and then when COVID hit, I was doing remote sales. So I kind of already had like that taste of like, man, I did make money from home working remotely through Cutco. So I was like, there should be an opportunity there. And then, again, I was 2 years after college driving all over DFW, going into these pool businesses and trying to like get them to like work with us as a distributor. And I just spent all day on the road, like insane amount of time. And I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And leadership wasn't there. Leadership is super important to me. So when leadership wasn't there and I was driving my car to the ground and putting heavy stones into it, like I was like, I need to do something different. I can't just keep doing this forever. And I almost felt like I was like losing a piece of myself. Like I was just being complacent, you know, when you're on a base salary plus commission, like you have that base, it's kind of like, you know, you're set, you're still okay. But like
Yeah.
with high ticket sales, most of the roles are commission only. So like I finally have that fire back in me where I'm actually like, okay, game on. I have to actually like push myself each day versus just
Exactly.
like kind of coasting and just being okay with life, you know? So,
Exactly. I tell people all the time, like, bigger risk, bigger reward, because it's like, you know, is high ticket sales easy? Nah, nah. I mean, if you want to be a high performer, definitely not. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Right. Like, it's already getting easier for you. And I mean, 6 months, a year in, gonna be fun to watch. Gonna be fun to watch. So,
yeah.
um, let's talk about the program because like you came in, and again, I was super impressed because like I took on a core, an original 12 members when I first launched the program. I had done high ticket sales successfully myself for a long time. I had taught it to people here and there in sales teams, but I'd never fully given someone the blueprint to go from in person to like doing this successfully. And you joined, and I knew when I created the program, I was like, listen, if somebody would just get in and like really work hard, it'll change their life. And then like you were that person who was on every single call, asking all the questions, showing up, motivating everybody else. And I was like, she's going to crush it. And then sure enough, obviously crushing it on your offer. But what was your impression of the program? And like, what was your biggest takeaways from going through the whole experience?
Yeah, great question. Insane program, honestly. Like coming from like the Cutco sales world, they do give you like a good foundation. But like one thing I never like took the time to learn was more of the psychology and like the habits you actually have to be successful. Like I've always been curious, you know, like you can learn all the scripts, you can learn everything on as far as like what the process looks like, what the service is, but like what is actually the meaning behind what you're saying versus
Hmm.
just reading off a script. I was really good at that with Cutco. I killed it, man. I was reading that script. But like at the end of the day, like there's so many different industries and services. Like how do you approach every single one? There's not a
Yeah.
blueprint that like clearly lays that out. And so your program like finally was allowing me to click like why people say things the way they do, like why you need to like set yourself up for success with follow-ups and you know the way you communicate with someone and how you present yourself. Like that was massive, and I can already see in every single one of my calls like I'm understanding the psychology. I'm still learning the what I need to say next after that, but at
Yeah.
least I'm catching on, right? And that's like the most important part. So yeah.
Love it. Love it. What was your favorite part?
Your coaching, your
Well, yeah.
mentorship. I mean, I don't think I've ever met anyone that's done an academy and has been so devoted to every single person in that program. Like you are like no matter what, I'm going to allow this person to succeed. And it's so hard to find people like that, like actual true mentors that actually believe in what they say and actually want you to
Hmm.
succeed. Like it's so rare. And so like just seeing your commitment and like even when we provide feedback, like you're like, let's go, and you double down and you make the program that much better just from like the feedback. Like that's awesome.
Let's
So
freaking go. Appreciate
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Appreciate
of
that.
course.
Um, okay, cool. And then, obviously, like, here's the big reveal because everybody obviously wants to know because they're like, okay, Anna's like a great student, but what does life actually look like getting into high ticket? So, you have never in your life taken a high ticket sales call. You've been on your new offer for 3.5 weeks. It should be noted that you sell a very complex B2B offer, right? Um, Talk about you had a big day where you made, quite a few Benjamins in one day. You were fired up in the group chat. You're like, let's go. And then, what have you made so far in your first like 3.5 weeks?
Yeah, great question. So I've cash collected 40K. So I get 20% of that, which whatever the math is on that. $8,000 so far,
Yeah.
and I still have until tomorrow. And again, since I'm in a B2B role, it's more like follow-up calls. So that's even within the first 3.5 weeks that I'm actually able to like make that process quicker versus waiting more months when you have
Right.
multiple decision makers when you're talking to businesses. So yeah, pretty insane.
Fire, fire. And you had a what? A 3K day or a 2.5K day or something like that?
Yeah, like I think I've had 2 days now, but yeah, one day I cash collected 15K on one day. which was crazy.
Dude, that's sick.
So
That first day when you do that and you're like, didn't leave my house. Crazy, you know?
yeah, I was like, it's real.
Yeah.
It's possible.
What's the day to day look like right now? Like day to day as a closer, like what's your daily routines and stuff?
Yeah, so obviously coming from like in-person sales to remote was definitely like a switch I'm still trying to like build, but typically my alarm goes off at 6:30 trying to get to that 4 or 5 a.m. like everyone else, but I'm still going. So my calls are literally packed from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I do have an hour lunch and like I can put some CRM breaks in between like 15, 30 minutes. And
Yeah.
then my first 2 weeks from 5 p.m. to like 2 a.m. I was perfecting my like understanding the product knowledge and perfecting my like what I want to say on each part and like kind of the gathering all the objections I've been getting and how I can
Yeah.
pre-handle them before I get there. So it's been a grind. I really haven't been sleeping much because I just want to like compress time frames, and be that much
Exactly.
better. So
Yeah. I freaking love it. I love it. All right. Good stuff. Couple more questions. So number one, 6 to 12 months, right? Because obviously, like to come in, make 8K your first 3.5 weeks is badass, and like you're adjusting to the high ticket closer lifestyle. What's the goal, like, you know, 6 to 12 months from now? Like, where do you want to be?
I want to beat your record, which I know you said may take time, but I mean, obviously consistently hitting cash collected 100K months, that would be awesome. And
Hmm.
then, yeah, just continuing to work on my follow up so I can even upsell after I've already closed clients would be great. But yeah,
Yeah,
consistently hitting 100K cash collected months would be awesome.
I love it. I can't wait to ship you the trophy, the
Yeah,
100K trophy.
exactly. That's the goal.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I really wanted to ask you. And I guess last thing I'd ask you is like final words, because like everybody that's watching this is probably an in-person sales rep, kind of like literally like where you were just a couple months ago, right? Maybe not loading big stones in the back of a truck, right? But they might be selling cars, working on the car lot. I know that grind, or door to door. Looking to get in high ticket sales, like what would be your final word and like piece of advice?
Yeah,
As
that's
somebody who made the transition, right?
Yeah, I mean the big factor for me was like I'm working so hard in a job that I'm capped at. I know it's uncapped commission, but at the end of the day there's so many variables when it comes to like in-person sales that it's still never guaranteed. And so knowing that if you invest into an academy that's going to guarantee you no matter what, as long as you put the effort in, 30, 40, 50K months in the future, why wouldn't you invest? Like it's a
Boom.
no-brainer.
I like it. I like it. Well, that's it, Anna. That's all I got for you. I know you got calls and stuff, so I'll let you kind of get back to it. But no, I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I mean what I said. You were a great student. You're going to continue to like represent the program real well. Future's bright. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Thanks for sharing.
Of course. Thanks, Brendan. Appreciate it.